The negative impacts of clutter on our mental health. So, we all know that it's extremely overwhelming right now. We're going 100 miles an hour. But the one thing I want you guys to stop and realize and look around and look at yourself, look at your phones, look at your computers, look at your homes. Clutter can have a profound impact on our mental health. It can cause us feelings of stress, anxiety, and even depression. So there are tons and tons of studies out there that um, show that this feeling of overwhelm and disorganization really promotes these feelings. It causes these feelings of stress and anxiety. So how can we take control of that? We're doing a series of blogs talking about how a tidy home, tidy office, tidy desk, um, how it impacts our mental health. So again, we're doing a series. There is a tidy guide, and it is a guide to showing you the impact that this has on our mental health and also how to help us. So if we're feeling down, what's one thing we could go clean to help us feel better? Because cleaning can also improve our mental health, not just hurt our mental health. So there are tons of studies on this. So there's actually a study, and this I find this really interesting, that it really affects our brain's ability to focus. So when your home is disorganized, it can lead to overstimulation. And there's a study from UCLA that found that women that describe their home as cluttered actually have higher levels of cortisol released throughout the day. And that is a stress hormone. So, ladies, I want you to think about yourself. Do you feel like overly stressed, overly anxious, overly stimulated? And look around your house. So it may not just be visual clutter like our houses. It could also be our phones. Our phones can become cluttered, overwhelming, and overstimulating. So it can also be brought on by digital clutter. And I want to do a whole series on digital clutter as well. But we need to make sure that we look around and we assess our physical clutter, and how much of this physical clutter is taking up my attention, right? Because if it's taking up your attention, it's your brain is competing for attention. So if you feel like you can't focus, it's because your brain is competing with the clutter on the task versus the clutter. And so this can lead to decreased performance and increased stress. And we want to make sure that we can get this under control. So clutter can have some effects on our emotional health as well. So are you feeling like feelings of chaos, right? And that is like that constant reminder of disorganization that causes that feeling of constant chaos. And then are you feeling like decreased focus? This is more around clutter and how hard it is to concentrate on a task. Like if you're feeling like decreased focus, and then increased anxiety. Now, this is really created when we have that sense of like it's unease, where it's difficult to relax and just maybe sit on the couch and do something, but we have that constant feeling of unease, and it just really creates a messy feeling. So on our checklist, being how to begin decluttering for mental health. And we have a step by step guide on this. So something as simple as just like clearing off a flat surface that takes about 15 minutes will actually reduce your mental load by 15%. And then maybe just organizing a drawer or a shelf that takes 10 minutes would reduce your mental load by 10%. And decluttering a hallway that takes about 20 minutes will also decrease it by about 10%. But here's a big one: picking up your living room clutter. Maybe just 15 minutes of tidying up the living room, fixing the couches, folding the blankets, and taking all the toys and putting them somewhere can actually decrease or reduce your mental load by 20%. And then cleaning a kitchen countertop. Something as small as 10 minutes can decrease your mental load by 15%. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, feeling super stressed out, or having a lot of difficulty focusing, try tackling some of these areas. Start with the smallest commitment with the biggest return. So that would be picking up the living room. And, whether it's the mental clutter or just trying to feel like you have a grasp on what's going on, our emotional well being is super, super important. And not until I really, dove in and started Organize It, which is a professional organizing and residential cleaning company, did I realize the impact of a tidy home on a family. So we want to make sure that we can help to reduce your stress in your house and your anxiety. We always want to start by first organizing our spaces and then cleaning them. And this will really help bring down that mental overload. And the other thing I want to remind us is that our kids are living in these areas as well and suffering from mental overload, probably more than us because of the school, social media, phones, video games. It's extremely mentally overloading. And we want to make sure here at Organize It, we can help in any way to really create a physical space and a mental space that allows your family to really thrive and do the things that are important to them. If you have any questions at all, or you're interested in our services, or you just need a hand, like maybe you can handle some of it, maybe you can't handle all of it. And we're here to help no matter how big or small the project is. We can do it from start to finish, or we can just come in and give you an extra hand.